All right, it looks like we are live. All right, looks like we're live. Good. Today, we will be discussing I don't really think it's controversial at all. It really isn't. But let the media tell you, let a couple of, very my minuscule amount of people tell you it's a controversial topic. Transgender athletes banned in Texas. All right. They voted. They went through and they said, I don't know about this, right? I don't know if we should have transgender athletes, transgender people competing against women in sports. I think they were looking at it like that. But before we get into that content, you already know what we got to do. Don't forget to kiss the diamond. That means like, comment. If you're here in the live chat, just say a hello in the live. Share, which is the most important thing. And don't forget to subscribe too. So kiss that diamond. Do all of those things. And you are watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. So today we got to cover something, and it must be said. This is technically the part 2 of the video that I had earlier that was discussing the DSD situation and everything. And actually, we used transgender as the backdrop there. The first question was, are transgender and DSD the same? I think we can say a resounding heck no. It is not the same. They are not the same at all. Okay? Now, there are some situations that I actually did. I did see and find on my research. If something happens, and I already know, you guys that are there in the comments, and I'm going to say this throughout the stream, I already know this is getting demonetized. It actually might get flagged and taken down. If this happens, if these 1 or 2 of these things happen, because YouTube can automatically, within seconds, already tell what I'm talking about. And apparently they've deemed this controversial. But you know what isn't controversial? Saying, these Negroes ain't ish. These men are trash. I already know. I know somebody that runs a YouTube channel. They can say that, not demonetized. Say something against women. Say something against gay rights. Oh my goodness, you might even get banned. Okay? So they deem that's controversial, but it's not controversial to trash talk men. That is why people in the digital age, you'll be silenced. Okay? Now, transgender athletes here, we're going to be putting it up on OnlyFans if this gets banned. Because I don't know how friendly Patreon is to that, but I know OnlyFans, after looking at other people, they're able to go up there. Because remember, OnlyFans, even though it unfortunately got overrun by other stuff, it really is a competitor to Patreon, just like Subscribestar and those things like that. But if you're here, smash that like button. Quezzy, what's going on? So, transgender athletes, this is what happened. Let's bring this up on the screen here. Hopefully this is the correct screen. Yes, it is. So, I'll cover this before I get into the other topics. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signs bill banning transgender girls from participating in female sports in schools. And I don't even have to preface or backdrop and say, well, I'm okay with you doing whatever you want. Man, that's that... Do we got to say that in front of everything? That's like that trigger warning generation. They got to, well, I'm okay with, no, I'm not actually okay with certain things. So I'm not even going to say that. But even if I'm okay with this, as I said on the previous video, do I got to say that on every video? No, I don't. So anybody that wants to cry and whine about it, cool. But look, this shouldn't even be a bill. This is the first thing. This shouldn't even be a bill that needs to be passed. Common sense should be able to do that. How about let's use the same logic? I'm transracial. I'm a white man. All right, I'm transracial. Oh, wait a minute. We had somebody that pretended and was transracial and she was a black woman. That can work in one direction, but not the other one. You know why? Because if there are people that typically rule the planet, the dominant society is what it would be called. Well, they can do that. Like if you're ruling over somebody, you can do that, but try to do it the other way around. People are going to look at you crazy. All right. Try to do it the other way around. They're going to look at you crazy. You'll become Uncle Ruckus. Remember? He had revitiligo is what he said on the Boondocks. So you'll be looked at like you're crazy. Oh, wait a minute. I'm a trans billionaire. Let me just go on my freaking, let me go to New York City. I feel that I should be a billionaire. And I really do. I really do. I think I wanted to be a trillionaire when I was 4 or 5 years old. I literally was like, I want to be the first trillionaire. I was a little kid saying that to my mom and to these older men that were asking questions about me. They was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? When they asked little kids as if they know. I already knew. I was like, I want to be the first trillionaire, and I want to own a car company and own this and own that. I was telling them at 4 or 5 years old. My mind was already there. So yeah, sure, you could feel that way for a long time. But I'm a trans billionaire. You know, I'm not a billionaire yet, but I should be because I feel like it. That's what it is right now. Everything is going toward feelings. Feelings overrule reality. You know what? If I felt that I built the roof on top of your head, it was properly in order, then I could say, well, I feel like this building is good. So it's good. And it falls on you. The reality hits you like a freaking brick, literally on your head, and kills you. We can't go on feelings. We got to go by facts and reality, or as close to facts and reality as possible. So here it is. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed into law a bill that bans transgender girls from participating in female sports in public schools. A measure that goes further than current rules in the state that already limited some transgender students from participating in classes of sports aligned with their gender identity. All right. Notice they already have. I was like, here go the great state of Texas. Oh, wait a minute, the country, because you know how they operate over here. I'm currently in Houston myself, so they it's like, hey, this is our own country of Texas. Hey, I wouldn't mind. But anyway, everybody has their problems before they say, oh, racism, man. Go on anywhere on the planet where it doesn't exist. Okay, there are places that are worse and better, sure, whatever. But anyway, and I'll get back to that. I'll round about that in a second. So it says they already limited transgender students from participating in classes of sports aligned with their gender identity. Okay, so it's a House Bill 25, all right, that goes into effect January 18th. Man, that should went into effect. It shouldn't even be a bill that gets discussed. Forget that. It shouldn't even be a bill that gets discussed. But anyway, if it is, that should have been in effect immediately as soon as that got signed, as soon as it got thought up. It shouldn't have been pushed out and outvoted in 2017 when they first tried to push it through. It should have been pushed through then. It should have been executive order. Been like executive order. Now y'all try to fight against it. We're going to push it through in the law, but it isn't. So competitive school level sports in Texas are overseen by University Interscholastic League, the UIL, okay, which stipulates students participate on teams in accordance with their gender listed on their birth certificates. All right, notice birth certificates. Now we're about to have people saying, well, I feel like my son or daughter is actually not a son or daughter. It's actually the opposite. That's what's going to start happening. Trust and believe, because you have mothers that there was some documentary. I should post that up on here. We got mothers that say, hey, oh yeah, and by the way, do you guys hear me right now? Because I already know this ain't going to be a popular topic, because here's two things that happen. I said men and women are not equal. So even though there are people on a subscribe basis that will say, oh, transgender athletes can't compete against us, they're men. But then they're going to say men and women are equal. That's why this video ain't going to be clicked. That's why it isn't. Because I said, no, men and women are not equal. They're going to be like, wait, they're going to not be able to compute. If we were equal, then there would be no problem with somebody parading as a woman or parading as a man, right? If they're a woman parading as a man, and then all our times will be equal. You see it on the track. This is literally a track and field centered sports channel. The gymnast can't, only one gymnast right now is able to do anything close to what men are doing. And they ready to call her a man. And now some people will say because he's black or whatever, but Simone Biles is the only woman that's been able to pull off her, there's another one. It's another, coincidentally, black girl that's attempted that. I think she did do it and she's up and coming. But there's like no woman that's able to be able to handle those flips and everything. So here we go. So they say, are Texans claiming that they're a country? LOL. It sounds like the same case in Western Cape Province in South Africa. Hey, look, everybody even claims against that. Like even people claim that. Fujita123 said, well, men also have different levels of testosterone, but nobody talk about it. And they don't test their testosterone either. That's what I think. I'm not trying to start something. Fujita123, incorrect. Men do get their testosterone levels tested. And I'm about to debunk that right now in a couple of seconds. Now, I just lost, I don't know, a group of people as soon as I said men and women aren't equal and pointed out my title. So I don't know what's going on, or they getting booted, or some ad is popping up on them. I don't know. But I'm about to debunk you literally in probably the next 10 or 15 minutes. So stay buckled up if you didn't already rage quit and whatnot here. Yeah, you ain't starting nothing. You just saying your opinion and everything. But we got facts behind us. Look, I'm prepared for everything. So here it is. Now, they're going to say the birth certificates. They said the UIL, however, accepts legally modified birth certificates that individuals have changed to accurately reflect their gender identity. Notice, this is an identity. This is identity. Now, I can identify with whoever I want. I can identify with an oppressor class. I can identify with victims. I can identify as a Cape Crusader. I don't care what the identity is. I just care about what the facts and the truth is. That's all I care about. So that's what we're going to talk about here, because a lot of people are saying, hey, the DSD athletes are this, and we're having arguments about that. And we got a bigger one, because this is going to get grimy as hell. And the people that are here, share this video because it needs to be seen. I might actually take this video down as soon as this is over, actually. But if you guys press the share button right now, we ain't getting that many people on this one. This one actually surprisingly has less there. But hey, you know what? I already know that we're about to have a whole bunch of people come in and troll. I'm ready for them, especially when they see it. They said, not actually Leah, said LMAO. I don't know what that is, what you're saying LMAO for, saying that men and women are not equal. But hey, I'm not going to let you get me off. Now, here's the bill that went by here. Now, look, let's just look here. The women's records right here. We're going to see the women's records, right? So we see records, women, 100 meters. 10. We even so many of us are saying, oh, she had wind assisted behind her. Okay, let's say men and women are equal here. Now I'm going to go in to reveal some things. Men and women are equal. Why are women slower than men? Why are women weaker than men? Why are women with slower reaction times than men? Why are women have worse coordination than men? Right? If we're equal, I mean, we should have equal coordination, or the time should be roughly the same. They could still be slower, but if it's slightly, a 1049 would get destroyed by even men now jogging. If you could break 10 seconds, you could jog on them and still win. You could look around. You could do what Usain Bolt did, beat your chest, come in over there. You could probably turn around and then turn back around and finish the race, and you still finishing in front. And that was one-time performance, because it's the world record. That's a one-time performance. You could be injured and still run faster than most women. Unlike a Doodleroo, he ended off the season running slower than Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. So I'm going to have to be like, dude, what's going on with you, man? But you could generally be slightly injured if you're already able to break 10 seconds and still run faster, either than this record or at least most female times. Same thing with the 200. Same thing with the 400. It gets worse and worse as it gets a longer and longer distance. It's just, I mean, 1049, let's admit it. 1049 to a 10-2 athlete, a 10-2 male? No, not even close. And that's, like I said, this could have been wind assisted. Everybody arguing with that. And I've actually had hindsight. I don't think it may have been wind assisted like that, but I don't know about a zero wind. I don't know if it was over the legal limit. But based on the 200, I think we're pretty safe to say that this is a legal world record. But anyway, how are we going to say they're equal? We got equal opportunity, but not equal. Those are two different things. You can have equal opportunity to get your butt kicked too, but that don't mean you're equal. So here we go. Here's the really atrocious thing that's happening right now. Where's my browser at? I'm gonna bring this up on the screen for you guys. Okay, I gotta take this off. Here we go. Are you guys seeing? Here it is. So let's go to the top here. Remember, I showed this on the last video. It said until 2016, trans athletes had to have quote unquote bottom surgery. That was the first time I had ever heard of this term. When I read this article, doing the research for this article back there. Now, Ann H said that 1049 had a hurricane behind it, LOL. Hey, maybe it did. I don't know. But even if it had a hurricane behind, that makes it even worse. That makes it even worse how fast the men are. Men could be running against the wind if you've already broken 10 seconds, even running 10 low and still run faster than that. That's crazy. Now, here it is. Now advocates are calling to scrap hormone requirements too. Can't make this stuff up. Now, this is why I said this. Let me go back to the title here. This is a two-parter. Transgender athletes banned in Texas. Fantastic. Good job, Governor Abbott and the rest of the people that voted that. Mainly, they were the Republicans, okay? Here's the irony here. Because people be like, Republicans, racist. See, some of the people here in the U.S., everything's great. Everybody has a sin. Every single one of us. I don't trust no politicians, first of all. But politics is involved with all of our lives, in sports, in everything. You know why? The governor just said, boom, it affected your sport. So for anybody that say, stop talking about politics. Well, politics affected that women are now coming into, trans or men are coming into female athletes, like female sports. That's politics. Because otherwise, because it said, hey, you want to get government funding at a public university from the federal government? Hey, you want to get our funding? You got to allow trans athletes. That's what the bill that got passed. You want to have government funding at a public university? Hey, you got to have that. You know what that does? It normalizes it. Once that's normalized and then the Olympic stuff is going on, well, then here it is. So now here's the subtitle. Will women ultimately lose? Well, number one, okay, you had to go through hoops in order to compete. So before 2016, then Rio, they said, nah, you can have a penis and you can still compete. You can still have your stuff, your junk down there and still compete. You can still have, do you get sold up or something down there for a woman that wants to do that? But yeah, I can't see women competing against the dudes. It just doesn't work that way. Now they're saying you don't have to lower your testosterone either. Number one, we're having the wrong conversation. No trans athletes whatsoever. I don't care about the hoops you gotta jump through. However you live your life, live your life. Whether I support you, like you, love you, whatever in my personal life or not, that's my own choice too. But definitely in sports, nah, I don't want to be seeing it. I don't even care if you look more attractive than a woman you next to because of all the stuff you did up with yourself. I don't care. You're not a woman. All right, here we go. Now, here's the thing right here. This is the thing that I said was very, very, very bad. Notice this. It says, here it is. And this is how the journalists write. I want y'all to pay attention to this. To compete, trans women must have a certain testosterone range. Okay, fair enough. Oh, actually, before I get to that, no, I'll do it now. Under the new guidelines, trans masculine, interesting term, athletes can compete, quote, unquote, without restriction. Wow. So that means in this Olympics, didn't they pass that? Or maybe it's for the next one. So here it is. Trans women and trans feminine people who wish to compete must have been on feminizing HRT. Is that human something? I don't know. For at least 2 years. And must have a testosterone level that falls below 10 nanomoles per liter. Okay? 10 MOL. Now, pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to this real quick. I want y'all to see something here. It says that you have to fall below 10 nanomoles per liter. Now, look, okay, I want to point out to the people that are here right now. Y'all see how little views that this is getting? Then people were demanding, show this, show this, show this. Hey, look, I'm going to cover the topic because I'm taken care of, and this is the topic I want to talk about. But I am going to have other topics like this, especially the hard-hitting ones. These same people will come up. They didn't view this at all. They're going to complain. They're going to say, DSD athletes here. This thing there. Oh, the trans people here. But they're not actually fighting against it. It's like when people go, and I'll go on this slight tangent because it's very related here. If you want to get something done, get your ass up, go to your city hall, sit into those things, and start fighting for what you need to get done. Right? You need to go over there and do it. You want to make money? The topics about money get the least views. Because people are okay to complain about it. When I want to do more. I want to do more. Somebody talks about it, and I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about it just in general. They talk about it. They're like, oh, close my ears, close my eyes. Now I can go, when. These people that talk about women all day, left and right on their YouTube channels, they start talking about men. Viewership goes a quarter. When they want to hold the men accountable, because the women can't be wild and buck wild crazy without the men being crazy or allowing it. So here's the thing. People wanted this. They were like, yeah, over. They're like, show this, show this, show this. And then start calling me names and everything. Here I am. We got what, 5, 10 live viewers. So here it is. So let's get back on here. 10 nanomoles per liter. 10 nanomoles per liter. Now here's the deceptive thing. It says, quote unquote, similar testosterone requirements. Notice it says similar. What does similar sound like? It means almost the same, right? Almost the same. Very, very close, right? Okay. 10 nanomoles. It has to be under 10 nanomoles per liter. But similar testosterone requirements barred South African sprinter and Olympic gold medalist Caster Semenya from competing in the international competitions by the Association of Athletics Federations. All right, the IAAF, due to her natural levels of testosterone. Okay, that's what they're saying. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let me show you something. Keep in mind, it has to only be below 10 nanomoles per liter. Remember, that could be 9.9. You probably don't want to get that close. So probably like 9, right? But let's just say, here it is. Let's bring up something here. Is this the right screen? Okay, I'm on the right screen. I'm about to blow your mind. Okay. What page is this? This is 22. Okay. Now, here it is. Now, you guys might not be able to see this that well, so I'm going to attempt to zoom in. You might not be able to get it zoomed in properly, but I'm going to read it out loud for the people that can't. And I have all the resources here, so if you guys want to see it, there you go. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you guys want to support the channel, don't forget Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, because we trying to grow this channel too. So here we go. Now, look at this. It says a survey published peer-reviewed studies reporting concentrations of serum testosterone, okay, measured by mass spectrometry methods indicates that women, and okay, so this is the World Athletics. They released this in 2019, just before Doha and whatnot. It went into effect May of 2019. Then they said Caster Semenya got to do all of these things or whatever. They were like trying to give a warning beforehand. Basically, prior to that, 6 months at least prior to the competition at the international level, you can compete locally. As long as it's not international, you're fine. You can actually compete as a DSD athlete and everything. These are the guidelines that they have here, right? So here it is. They said that women, including elite female athletes without DSD, have serum levels of testosterone. Okay, remember, it says women, including elite female athletes. So what it is implying here is that elite female athletes have higher levels of testosterone. Well, that would ring true, right? It would ring true because you would think testosterone activates certain things, muscle growth and things like that. And, you know, female athletes that are elite female athletes, well, they probably will have higher testosterone levels than the general public. Because even I was confused about this. I'm like, what are they determining DSD? Is it this? Okay, here it is. It says women, including elite athletes, female athletes, without DSD have serum testosterone levels of between 0.06 and 1.68 nanomoles per liter. Wait. 0.06 and 1.68 nanomoles per liter. Hold on. That's the natural level of women's testosterone. Remember that. Now let's go back here. What did we just read on this screen? That they only gotta go below 10 nanomoles per liter. Okay, wait a minute. That's not the mic drop here. That's not the bombshell. Because remember I said it was a bombshell here. This is where it gets real crazy. Okay, this is where it gets real crazy. All right, it says 95% two-sided confidence limit. Okay. All right, number 2. That was 1. 2. Women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, they accounted for people with disabilities or things that give them a heightened level of testosterone. And ain't this crazy? They did it. Have serum levels of testosterone with an upper limit of 3.1 nanomoles per liter. Still higher than the women. 95% one-sided instead of two-sided confidence limit. Now, and 4.8 nanomoles per liter, still below the 10 right here. 99.99% one-sided confidence limit. Okay, that's number 2. 3, the normal range of serum testosterone levels of men is 7.7. I'm going to just stop right there. So all they got to do is go below 10. That means they're still in the men's range. Oh my goodness. This is World Athletics releasing this. The International Olympics Committee and World Athletics are not necessarily, they're not the same thing. They're two different organizations, okay? But you see, the Olympics allows the natural men. This is what World Athletics based their findings on DSD. Now, here we go. It says let me start this over. 3, the normal range of serum testosterone levels in men is 7.7 to 29.4 nanomoles per liter. 95% two-sided confidence limit. Meanwhile, women, including female athletes, okay. What? Wait a minute. This is weird wording. So that means women, quote unquote, remember, female and male are not man and women. So that means they're including, I guess, this is what it implies, people that are legally women. So that means they may be biologically male here. This is very interesting here, how they just worded this. You see how I caught that? This is the reading comprehension skills right here. Meanwhile, women, including female athletes, so including the athletes, okay, with DSDs covered by these regulations can have serum testosterone levels above 5 nanomoles per liter and well into or even above the normal male range. So that means DSD athletes, including Mboma and other athletes, Semenya and everything like that, they said their levels can have a higher range than even the men. So they say they have to, drop their levels down to below 5. And basically, it seems like women with polycystic ovarian syndrome are the only ones that really get close to 5 here. That means normal women, they ain't even scraping 2. They go from 0.06 to 1.68. That means the level that the DSD athletes are still allowed to be much higher. Now, that's going to be a different topic because we're going to say, are the DSD athletes men? Are they women that have natural heightened testosterone? Because I found out some crazy stuff with that one too. Because I was thinking one thing and it might have been something else. That's a different video. But I'm just going to cover this. Why is it that the DSD athletes, which at this time of everybody's, knowledge here, why do they got to be below 5, which is still within the natural female range, even if you got a polycystic ovarian syndrome, POS, not not that one, but POS. They're allowing them, they're saying, hey, you got to stay literally in the women's range. But for the men, like the literal, you can't even argue against this one. But for the men here, like literal, like, oh yeah, everybody knows this was a male. You can be in the natural men's range. Can I ask y'all audience real quick? What are they smoking? What are they smoking? Because DSD athlete could be argued, hey, this was a biological female. This is a female with extra testosterone. But you allowing a man that was, you're allowing a male to parade as a woman or to parade as a female now here and still be in the male range of testosterone levels and compete. Then they don't have to cut their stuff up below, which really is going to be a barrier for many of them. Great. That should be a barrier. If you want to say you're a woman, go ahead and do every step it is. Every step, get yourself changed up, do all of that. I know it's dangerous around it. Hey, it's dangerous with everything. I could get ran over by a car when I'm running on the roads on the side of the country. I could get the racists to come out and to go round them up. Look at Nera. They could come out there and get me. But guess what? I took the chance. I'm alive today. If you think it's too dangerous, oh well. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even be competing. I'm not even going to freaking negotiate with you there. You have your own category. That's what you have. Yes, we want equality and everything, but we don't want this. No, I'm not even going to entertain foolishness. You can do what you want in your life. I can accept you as you are, or maybe not accept you, or whatever it is. But when it comes down to this, man, these nails look really weird that they have over here. What the heck is going on? That is disgusting me. So let me get this off of the screen. But you can have whatever you want in your personal life. I can do whatever I want. I can acknowledge you. I can say, come over here. I can call you she, whatever. I do whatever I want, right? Respecting you, of course, respectfully. But when it comes down to this, there is no way in Skippy, nowhere are female athletes and male athletes the same. Not at all. Not at all. Because if it was, we wouldn't even be complaining about DSD athletes. There would be no argument. Literally, no argument. There would be no argument with DSD athletes. Because these are argued like, hey, they're female and they got higher testosterone. What you think the men got? Now, as we have seen here from the evidence of the studies here, DSD athletes can actually have a higher level of testosterone than men. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Hey, you know what? Michael Phelps had a resistance to, what is that, lactic acid or whatever. So, I mean, just, it is what it is, I guess. But here we go. I got to ask y'all something. Do y'all think this is crazy? Or do y'all think this should be normal here? Y'all think this is crazy? So, a biological woman over here. Man, Moneybags Elaine can't compete against this. Sha'carri Richardson can't compete against this. They're going to allow the men to come here, and it'll be a guy that can't win in the male sports. Or his mom said, no, I'm going to dress you up, because there was the documentary. She said, no, I always wanted a woman. I feel ashamed that you came out as a man, or as a boy. Actually, that's what it was. And then that was one of the transgender people on some documentary they covered. And he was like, well, I always had these the great majority. Do y'all know how many mental issues transgender people have? It should be no surprise that certain things happen. When certain things happen to you, you're younger. Like, it produces a certain result. It's just reliable, right? These people should be getting help. And I'm not calling them, hey, you want to be crazy, whatever like that. Hey, look, I don't think, well, I know that men and women are not equal. We ain't. But there's one other thing that we got to put here. Do y'all think Marion Jones could compete against these transgender men? Roided up Marion Jones. Let's just put it out there. Let's just put it out there. Can Marion Jones and all the roids, let's say she never got caught, nothing ever happened, right? She never went to prison. She was just training. We did a time machine, put her to today, put her in today's shoes, on today's track, so she gets sped up a little bit from those things. Do you think Marion Jones could compete against? I mean, this is somebody getting roided up, probably got higher levels of testosterone than the female athletes around her. Or however that is, right? So you telling me roided up Marion Jones could compete against the transgender athletes? Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe Marion Jones can't do it. Can Elaine thompson-herah compete? She's the second fastest woman in history. Can she compete? I mean, I don't know. If a guy that's running, low 21s decides he wants to be transgender, let's say he's a 20-point guy, or before he gets to 20-point. Forget all of this. Y'all know how dumb this is? You have the skeletal structure, the bone structure, the center of mass, the center of gravity on your body of a man. You idiots. You idiots. You freaking idiots. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about the people that unwillingly, that's why willingly, actually. You're ignorant if you're unwillingly doing it. But you're an idiot. You knowingly going out here. I don't need no man because man and women are equal. Man and women equal and we got everything right. No, it is not. That is incorrect. Because a punch from the even a weak man's fist into a face of a woman and everybody gonna be crying. What is that? I ain't gonna say it here. But I gotta censor myself a little bit. I gotta censor myself a little bit for YouTube. But what is that weak SOB doing, hitting a woman? That's exactly what's gonna happen. The world is gonna be crying. Every woman, literally the same ones. You can go on their Twitter pages, on their Facebook. I see it. When I used to be on Facebook and Twitter like that, I see it. The same ones literally yesterday or a couple hours ago saying these dudes ain't nothing. All these guys, it could be white, black, whoever, saying it ain't. They gonna go seconds later. See, we need to stand up for domestic violence against women. Women always getting abused. Man, you so dumb. Your logic can't go both ways. Both things cannot be true. You can't be equal to a man because if you are, your strength will be equal. That's called inequality. It's natural. So this is what this results in. That we got to have a bill that actually passes, that bans athletes. We got to have a bill that is actually like that. This is Twilight Zone stuff. This is worse than Black Mirror and Twilight Zone. Or just as bad as any of those. That's why the person that made Black Mirror said, I stopped making it because real life is even worse. We have a disgrace that's coming through. And I just got to say it straight out. You're voting for them. You are voting for these people. You are putting them in power. How? Because you say, big part racist, so I ain't doing this. Bring me the facts that they are. Ain't both of them racist? Like when people were talking about Biden versus Trump and stuff. So you telling me out of the nation of as many bright people as we have in the United States, the two best people we could bring up are a senile racist, one of them Southern Dixiecrat racist dudes that fought against every bill that helped black people on his way up, and another dude that has his see, Biden is one of those outlandish racists. Y'all should, the people that live here in the USA and that's old enough, you will know the difference between a Dixiecrat and one of those, hey, I'm your friend, but really stab you in the back races versus the Trump style racism, which in a lot of his actions, he did things that were more in favor. I've had experiences myself where I could talk to and actually do business with people that were literally saying, I hate niggers. Literally, they was just, I hate Negroes. Right? They said, I hate blacks. And I did business with them easier than I did with somebody that said, hey, I ain't no racist. I got black friends, or all the other stuff. Ain't that ironic? We need to stop using low-level thinking when we make our decisions, because politics affects our lives. Anybody that thinks politics doesn't affect your life, I'm going to respectfully say you are completely incorrect. It affects every level of your life. Every level of your life. You don't like the new world order that's happening here, then you voted the people in. They're the ones that say communism. They're basically saying capitalism bad. Most of the things we got that they blame are not even capitalist. A bailout from the government is not capitalist. That's closer to communism. So these billionaires or somebody you saying getting a bailout, that is communism. Because it's a government funded bailout. Now it will drain from you. That's called communism. But they telling you, oh, capitalism is the reason why this happened. No, it's called communism. That's literally the definition. Government run programs. You think it's a problem? Okay, they should be taxed. Oh, so that more bombs can be dropped in nations of black and brown people? So then they can bring over there and say, hey, you should be okay with being a woman because you're a man. And then you woman, you are equal enough to be this man, even if you're not ready or trained or have the culture that accommodates for it. Now, y'all think I might be going on a tangent, but no. Look at how bad Japan is right now. They have something called hug hotels. Now, transgender athletes might actually start coming out in Japan, you would think, quicker than the United States. But also, Japanese athletes are a bit slower than the rest of the world when it comes to, sprinting. So if you get if you're already a little bit slower and whatnot, then it's just not happening. They got hug hotels. That's how bad the situation is there. Those men are defeated. They should be standing up for themselves. But instead, they put their cojones in a freaking purse and it was like, all right, I'm going to go pay for a hug. I'm that sad and sorry. I'm not going to learn how to communicate with other people. I'm so sad and sorry. The whole system is against me. They got a culture that still passes they're trying to change the laws now. They're fighting to change the laws now. And it's not even a big fight against it. But it's so many men not wanting to have children or anything like that, that the inheritance that normally goes down to men. They got a literal patriarchy set up and the men still going out there to pay for hugs. That's how bad it is. And we got the transgender issue here. We're going to get women erased. Will women ultimately lose? That's the question that we asking here. What are y'all thinking that's out there? If you think they're going to lose, drop a 1. If you don't think they're going to lose, state the reason why you don't think women are going to lose. Because at the end of the day, I think it's more complacent people than there are people that want to fight against it. They're going to be like, I don't really want to cause no trouble. Man, F YouTube and all of them. Ban me. That ain't going to do nothing to my life. But I'm going to talk about this. Now, I am going to talk about it on other platforms because I ultimately don't want to get limited. So if this channel gets banned, I'm going to make another one. Then I'm putting it on OnlyFans. And then I'm going to have my Patreon for the lighter stuff. But I'm going to be posting these things up. If it don't work, I make another channel. What's to stop them from, I don't know, getting me? Unless they do voice recognition or something. I name it something else. I put it where I hide the subscriber count. I do all types of things. People do it. Dude. We got to actually fight against these things. We got to do that. And like I said, it doesn't matter. Let's just say you're nervous. Okay. Let's say that you are nervous. There are some things that happened to me when I was younger. Right. I got sexually abused by women when I was younger. Okay. That made me think certain things were normal and I went up and grew that way. Now, just because something happened to me, I got over it. I'm a freaking adult. You get over your stuff. I don't do this, and I didn't say it. Don't even say, oh, I'm sorry. I don't need it. I don't want it. I appreciate it. If you are going to say that, I don't need it. You know why? I'm over it. I was over it a long time ago, matter of fact. But you know what? Some of the actions that I did that I thought were normal when I was older, I was like, man, somebody's going to say blah, blah, blah later. I ain't going to worry about it. All of us got sins. All of us got problems. If you, one of the people in the audience too, that said, hey, I had a relationship with somebody that's transgender. How'd it look like with me saying this thing? It's called, you can support their actions, right, in the personal life, but then realize that they're not, because you, in your head, you're like, well, I don't think I'm this way because I look at transgender as woman, but you can acknowledge both things at the same time. Number one, you could just accept that they got the body of a man. That's all it is. That's what you want to logic it out. Because I noticed there's some people, I posted up on my Facebook, they're like, how could you say this, but then you did this poster with these people here and you did that. I was like, I got hired. I'm like, am I going to turn down money? I guess I could. And I'm like, okay, they ain't bothering me. So as long as you ain't bothering me and trying to tell me that women and men are equal, I see Daryl Richardson is the only one that thinks they ain't going that they're gonna lose. So if you're telling me that men and women are equal, I got something for you to look at. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. I got something for you to look at here. Number one, here it is. Women, including elite female athletes, which will have implied higher level of testosterone. Normal women without disorders have 0.06 to 1.68 nanomoles per liter of testosterone levels. All right? Start saying that to people. Women have this testosterone level. Men have 7.7 to almost 30. That's what 7 to 30. That's what you could say. Rounding them to 7 to 30. Women have less than 1. Literally, you could say 0.06 to almost 2. Normal women. Now, women with ovarian syndrome, polycystic ovarian syndrome, can have 3.1. Let's just say 5. Up to 5, right? So women can have 0.06 up to 5. That's why the DSD athletes have to be under 5. Don't that make sense? It goes hand in hand. They're like, okay, that makes sense. The International Olympic Committee, on the other hand, has looked at the same data and they concluded this dumbass stuff. Here's what they said. They said they just got to be below this. Number one, they shouldn't even be in the conversation. So this shouldn't even be brought up. I'm not even going to argue, well, they should be down to 5. No. We're not doing it. And I'm going to let you guys know. If I see a transgender athlete, and I've already said this, if somebody hires me and I'm announcing there, I'm not going to announce the transgender athlete. You could fire me all you want. You could try to sue me or whatever. Good thing this is my YouTube channel. And if I cover the athletes and then next thing we know, we got this athlete right here. Somehow, what's the name? Hubbard. I'm just going to say Hubbard. So we got Hubbard right here. We got Hubbard, Laurel Hubbard, that decides he wants to be a shot putter. Decides that he wins the women's shot put. Or I'll say she. I'll at least respect that in some way. She wants to go to, I just can't do it. He wants to go to competing in shot put and wins World Athletics or Olympic champion. I'm not going to utter out my mouth. I'm going to say they cheated. They just let a man come here and do that. Don't we already say that right now? Don't we say that some of these records right here were set by potential men? Marita Koch, Jarmila Kratichevalova. Did we say that those, what is it, where is that at? Is it the high jump too? Because the high jumper was actually caught. One of the high jumpers was actually a man. Well, there was a DSD athlete. Is this the, no, is, I can't remember if Stefka is the athlete that I'm thinking of, but there was another one that had the world record for a while. But we already have people talking about, oh, this could be a man or whatnot. Now, they didn't have these testing right there. Now, coincidentally, when they started testing, because at the same time as they tested for performance-enhancing drugs, you know what else went with that? Testosterone testing, because you have to test the levels of the testosterone. So for the person, Pujita, 1, 2, 3, how are you going to say that men don't get their testosterone tested? Please tell me how you don't think that they get their testosterone tested. And Justin Gatlin, didn't he have 2 high levels of testosterone? How would you know that if you don't test the testosterone? I just want y'all to logic this out for a second. Some of you guys need to read or say out loud what you're thinking and then listen to yourself. Because a lot of times, and this used to happen to me, we don't oftentimes listen to our own thoughts. Sometimes when something's confusing in your head, you say it out loud. And I'm not even saying this against you, Pajita, right? I'm not coming against you because I know you just said, hey, well, you said that in the honest thing. You just happen to be the person that said it. I'm talking about anybody else that's doing it. How could we tell that anybody is a testosterone drug cheat on the men's side if we don't test the testosterone level of men? Just because they say women have a male's level of testosterone or too high testosterone, that must mean we must know what the men have. Why do we need to point out that? It's just some of these arguments are just pointless. Straight up pointless. We'll be stuck circling around. Number one, no transgender athletes. We need to focus on what's there. DSD, we need to figure out what that is. We need to do this ASAP so we can stop having a debate about those. Let's come up here, definitive, get the studies, boom, and it's just wrap it up and let's move on. Right? Because World Athletics would be like, well, we're going to limit DSD athletes. And I'm almost willing to bet that the transgender athletes, if they start allowing them in, just like the Olympics said, they will be at a higher level than the DSD. Why? Because maybe it's just hard to have a man get down to those levels of 5 and below and still be healthy without having, let's say, a heart attack or something else. Because if your level's already up to nearly 29 and then you lower it freaking half, a quarter, or something like that, you lower it to a quarter of what you got. Wait a minute, an eighth of what you got or a sixth of what you got, you probably really unhealthy. You are probably going through a lot of health effects. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. So for the people that keep saying, well, the men ain't tested, how the hell are they not tested when we know who does a drug cheat for testosterone? Please tell me how. I'm going to start telling people to read their sentences back to them. And I'm not talking about you, Pajita, like I said, if you're still here. I'm talking about anybody else that's be like, well, this thing, that's all I've been starting to do on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, just read your sentence back out loud to yourself and make that make sense. And they don't get it. Because I'm not going to even debate them or go into the conversation. It's just going to be, I'm going to get the reins of power. You guys get money so you get power so you can start enforcing this. Simple as that. And go out there and vote and exercise the individualized power that you can have. That's what it is. That's all you can do. Because otherwise, you're not going to be able to influence things. People with money are influencing these things. That's what it is. They want us all to be gender warring against each other. Number one, man is the leader. Number two, patriarchy is good. Why? It built everything we got around us. If it was so bad, we still be in freaking huts. And that's not even actually that bad. A hut is actually pretty decent if y'all ever stayed in one. Right? But we wouldn't even be advanced as we are. I don't even want to disrespect the cultures that still got huts and whatnot. We would still be outside doing nothing. Picking our nose, scratching our behind, picking, I don't know what else out of our behind, bugs or whatever. And we wouldn't have rocket ships. We wouldn't have the devices that we got now if patriarchy was so evil and bad. Somebody said, oh, you're doing patriarchy. And I told this person, patriarchy is good. And y'all can find it on the comment section somewhere 2 or 3 videos ago. Said patriarchy is good. Yep, I'm in support of it. Yes, I said I would not tell my daughter to be like Sha'carri Richardson. No, they're two separate things. She's an entertaining athlete, but I wouldn't tell my daughter to be like her. I wouldn't tell my sisters to be like her, even though 2 of them are like her. Unfortunately. Well, how would you feel about your mother or whatever? That's their life. I wouldn't tell them to be like that. So, guys, that's our topic today. We ain't covered this. We know people are going to get their panties in a bunch. Both the men and the women. Because some of the men are wearing panties. And, hey, look. If that's what you do, cool. As long as you ain't over here saying the transgender athletes need to be competing. Because I'm going to just show you the men's indoor times. And they still faster. And they're slower than the outdoor times. And they're still faster than the women's outdoor times. The women's outdoor times can't even hold a candle. A 1992, Man, matter of fact, even though Frankie Fredericks ran this, and he's the only man, to my knowledge, to break 20 seconds indoor. Excuse me, how many athletes have broken this 21:34 indoor for men? I mean, we see it at colleges all over the place. 44:57. We don't need to look at the women's 47:60. A 142 indoor, that's over what? 11 seconds faster than the 800. The 1500, not even close. Not even close. 1500, 350. Yeah, it's 331. Like I said, it gets worse and worse. The gap is larger and larger. And even in this study right here, they said they celebrate inequality. This is what World Athletics said. They said they celebrate, well, not in this article. It was another webpage. I couldn't find it right now. They said we celebrate inequality of all kinds, because they said, but they had a question about, hey, but isn't somebody with a different height or different fast twitch or slow twitch muscles, don't they have an unfair advantage? When they were talking about DSD, that's going to be a next topic. They said we celebrate everything except for gender inequality. We celebrate every other form of inequality except for gender inequality when it comes to athletic performances. That's what they said. And they said they found that men and women are the same except for the levels of testosterone. That's what they found. So that was their study. I might want to disagree, but if the studies have it and we look and double check how they did the studies and everything, and they even admitted where their holes were in their own logic and what could go wrong and whatnot, because they were challenged on it. So they had to update it. But they said, hey, the only difference they found between men and women were the testosterone levels. And that testosterone makes a huge difference. Testosterone makes our bodies stronger. It makes us quicker reaction time. It makes us just overall a better athlete than the women are. I want to see women compete against women. If I want to see that booty shaking down the track, I want to see the booties of the women shaking down the track. If I want to see the men blazing up the track, if I want to see extremely fast times on women, I'm going to look at the women competing, not a man competing against them, not a slow dude competing against fast women. That is not entertaining. That's just, I don't know what to describe that. The mixed gender things, I guess that comes into play there. But anyway, anybody that goes out there, I want you to send them this video. I may take this video down. Let me see something here. I appreciate anybody that is contributed to Cash App, PayPal, anybody that's subscribed to Patreon. Matter of fact, let me just drop this right here. If you guys are interested, like I said, support the channel, right? Support the channel. Here's this. Become a patron right here. You can support the channel in other ways. I appreciate everybody that's come out today because, look, we know that topics like these, they just don't be covered like that. They do not be covered like that. And some people will tiptoe on these topics. They will not say outright, no, the athlete shouldn't be there. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be that person. I want y'all to be that same one too. I want y'all to be those people that says, no, we have to have standards. We have to have standards. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The same way I said, and I'm going to bring up Richardson again, the same way she acts on the track. I want my kids to have standards. You know what these people try to tell me, or this person tried to tell me? The only thing I didn't get called was a misogynist. And I was like, do you know that means hate women? So you're a misandrist. That's what I start calling people. That means you hate men. But then it's name calling back and forth or whatever. I'm just going to shut down the conversation. Patriarchy is good and it's called having standards. You wouldn't want somebody to walk up to you and punch you and say, well, I could just do whatever I want. How you going to judge me? You wouldn't want that to happen. So it's called having standards. Now, when it comes to not being boring and everything like that, well, sha'carri Richardson definitely ain't boring. So she definitely ain't boring. So that's the thing that's there. So with that being said, let me check something real quick because I actually got something back up over here. Yep. All right. So I think we've covered enough. I normally would start having call-ins, but that's their yeah, I normally will have a way for people to call in, but we're going to do it on a bigger topic. So the next one, guys, definitely check out. We're probably going to cover Ibargüen, Rojas, and everything like that. Here's another thing here. I like I said on the last one, Gide smashed a half marathon world record. This woman is going crazy. I do not want to see her. I don't want to see Safan Hassan. I don't want to see Rojas. I don't want to see Shelly-Ann, Fraser-Pryce, Richardson, or no other woman be competing against obvious men. I don't want that to happen. And if it starts to happen, you're going to see me go, I don't know, Donald Trump on these people here. I don't know, like as vocal as he is. I even looked at him. I was like, man, as vocal as this guy, he just be saying stuff or whatever. That's how I am in my personal life. I'm not shy about what I'm doing. I'm not shy about what I'm doing, right? I'm not shy about it. I'm not the professional politician, Obama, Biden, George Bush style of those things. No, I'm just gonna let you know how it is. The former Toronto mayor, he said something about them. Hey, I heard you cheated on your wife. And he said, no, I was eating my wife's blank and it tasted good. Thank you very much. And then he walked off. I was like, that's exactly what I would do. I really don't care. So I want y'all to do that. But anyway, now I'm meandering on a little bit too far. We've been at an hour and 1 minute into this. I thank you all for coming out. You have been watching, as always, Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. If this does get a huge ban or something like that here, let me see here, then I will be taking this down. It should say something right now. Yep, it's already said. It says, this video is running limited or no ads due to content identified as not suitable for most advertisers. It remains fully playable and is eligible to earn subscription revenue from YouTube Premium. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to take this down because I already know what's going to happen after the fact. I'm just going to have to post it on my Patreon. So, for certain topics, I'm going to start doing that. I might even start doing the live streams like the topic yesterday. I might take that down and put it on Patreon. So, from now on, guys, I might just start doing live streams and then immediately take the videos down. This one I might leave up, but I'm going to see what happens. If I get a strike on it, I'm taking it down. So it might just be I post up lives and then I take them down. Post up lives and take them down. So if you don't catch me live, you might just be missing the content. But anyway, I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace and much.